to my phone. I still have to upload certain videos to certain channels. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this live. Okay. It's Mars. It's Mars Day. I'm wearing pink in representation of Mars. I'm in the middle of the death energy, Scorpio energy movement and stuff like that. So we're just gonna keep this going. Okay. So the Emperor card, obviously an Aries card, obviously ruled by Mars. Mars, you know what's really good for your Mars karma? And I will be jumping around. But what's good for your Mars karma, and I feel like really is in alignment with the Emperor card, is this Mars not demands, but asks for us to go to our highest potential, right? So it's not just getting your bachelor's degree, it's going ahead and getting your doctor's degree. It's not just putting out the information, it's going ahead and publishing a book on the information, right? Mars wants us, and it's really good for our Mars karma to go for the highest position, achieve our highest potential, and yeah, what better way to embody that than the Emperor card? The Emperor is all the kings in one, right? So the Tower card is just the epitome of Mars energy itself, right? Being courageous, having that leadership, action, not procrastinating. When an opportunity, the opportunity opportunes itself. When an opportunity opportunes itself, oh my gosh. When the opportunity strikes, oh my goodness. Well, anyway, you take the opportunity, right? But a Tower card, for those of you who don't like know tarot, a Tower card is probably the scariest thing you could get in a card pool, because like I was listening to a reading, and the Tower came out. The Tower card came out, and literally a few minutes later, I got a call that my kids and my husband were in a car accident, and my car was completely totaled, but my kids were fine, my husband were fine, their health was great, everything was good. But that's a Tower moment, right? And it worked out in my favor. See, the Tower is things you don't need. So literally, we were moving out of the country, and I don't need a car here, right? And I was able to get like this luxury rental car for a lot of money off because my car was totaled, and we were able to drive in this like luxury rental car to the airport. It was crazy. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes the angels will align it to where the Tower will be a good thing for you. You know what I'm saying? It's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's you getting laid off by your job. Hey, what's up? What's going on, Sonic Boy? Sometimes you'll get laid off by your job, right? But that's not the job for you. So that's the good thing about the Tower card. So Mars does want to align us in the direction that we're supposed to go, right? I don't like seeing this energy, okay? But these old foundations, these faulty foundations, these things we don't need, they gotta go. They gotta go. So the Tower card is good. I will be looking at my notes, y'all, okay? Because I got a lot going on. So let's see what we got here. 7 of Wands, which is Mars and Leo. Okay, Mars and Leo. I got 7 of Wands right here. Hey, what's up? What's up? Gonzalez. Okay, what's going on? So 7 of Wands is Mars and Leo. So Mars is the general, right? And Leo is the king. And Mars is the general to the king in Vedic astrology, right? So they're good friends. They're the bestest of friends, and they work really, really well together. If you have a Mars in Leo in your astrological chart, oh my gosh. Oh, let me read y'all. I want to get this right because I might have some Mars and Leos in here. Okay, so Leo gives you the vision of truth for the people, but Mars is the action to represent the vision. So Mars is going to put your vision into action, okay? So this gives you power, leadership, potential, prestige, reputation. The shadow side of this is an excessive Pitta energy, because Mars has the Pitta energy, Leo has that Pitta energy, so you got to watch out for that. When you have excessive Pitta energy, there's irritability, restlessness, frustration. Okay, so I can see that sometimes with certain men. So it's not just men, it happens with women too, you know what I'm saying? But maybe just people with an excessive like masculine energy and it's not fully balanced out, you know. So definitely, you know, cool that Peta energy off. And that's why sometimes on a Tuesday, if you're trying to relax that Mars karma, it's good to wear pink instead of the red and the orange. The pink can cool it off a little bit. Those of us that have like excessive energy. So let me keep going here. Five of Cups. Oh, I like 10 of Cups, but I'll leave it. I'll leave that later. Let's get to the Five of Cups, which is Mars and Scorpio. So you all know what Mars of Cups looks like with the Scorpio energy. Okay. So let me see what I got here. And you know what? I don't think he went over Mars and Scorpio. That is crazy. I got Mars and Capricorn. But Mars and Scorpio. So Scorpio, okay. Scorpio's intuitive and curious. So Mars is going to give you that drive to be curious and intuitive and go into the deeper knowledge of things, the deeper emotions of things, right? And part of me is like, well, why did they put it with Five of Cups? I think Five of Cups, when you're in a depression, it's like you're drowning in it, right? It's like this excessive, you know, you don't want to get out of bed. Everybody deals with depression differently. But when your heart just sinks, right? Think Mars and Scorpio. So that's the energy behind the Five of Cups. So this whole live is about tarot. And sorry, y'all, I gotta set hi. Hey, I gotta get new contacts. 373, that's what I see. Okay. What's up? What's going on? So Five of Cups. Again, this whole live is about Mars and tarot. Okay, so Five of Cups is Scorpio. Okay. So just that energy of just like, they broke my heart again. I just heard Tony Braxton unbreak my heart, but I will spare you guys the singing. Okay. So since we're in the cups, let's go to 10 of Cups. Mars in Pisces is an auspicious energy. Anytime your Mars is in a Jupiter sign, so that's Pisces or Sagittarius, it's auspicious. Auspicious means it's good. They like each other. Okay. Mars gives energy to the Guru, and Guru, which is Jupiter, gives energy to Mars to balance out that action, or like not energy, gives wisdom to Mars. Okay. Now I have a Mars in Pisces, but I'm gonna go ahead and go over people who have Mars in Sagittarius too. Okay. And there's a lot to go over. So when you have your Mars in a Jupiter sign and a Guru sign, the manifestation or potential is very favorable, very profound, and very meaningful. Okay. So if your Mars is in Sagittarius, you have a strong moral and ethical potential. That means you don't just talk the talk, you actually walk the talk. So whatever you're talking about, you're actually doing in your life. Okay. Good people through their action. Okay. So these are people whose actions are good, right? These are freedom fighters, very righteous, ethical people, courageous. They have confidence. They're for equality. This is their strength, right? The shadow side is this can be very opinionated people, very expressive people, and it can be very sharp, their opinions, right? So some people think, oh, they're so judgmental, they're so condescending. Sometimes they could be, right? But other times people might be reading you wrong, right? You're for justice, you're for righteousness if your Mars is in Sagittarius, and that's just what it is. And they could be taking it the wrong way, or they could be feeling guilty, and that ain't got nothing to do with you, you know, but it is what it is. So Mars in Pisces, which is your 10 of Cups here, okay? This is a highly philosophical and intuitive placement. So this is a gift. If you have a Mars in Pisces, you are intuitive, you have strong spiritual morale, esoteric wisdom, and you put that wisdom into action, okay? Your intuition is also tied with your instinct. So I noticed with this placement, like, I'll do I did this one tarot reading, what turns them on about you, and the person that was getting turned on, it was making me sick. It was like, I felt this sick feeling in my stomach. and my intuition was telling me that like it was something just too excessive in what was turning the person, like it was something a little too toxic about what the person was getting turned on about in that reading. And so I mean, and so yeah, but that's just an example of how your intuitiveness is linked to the instinct, right? You will feel it in your body, so you'll get a feeling, right? People who have Mars and Pisces should definitely look into Ayurveda techniques. I think I'm saying this right. Jostas, mysticism, religion. Just put your wisdom into action, right? So how does that relate to the Ten of Cups? The Ten of Cups. And then I'll go into the shadow side. Ten of Cups is like family. We're all in this together. It's like that energy. I never watched that full High School Musical, but it's. I think this is because Mars and Pisces is such a gift. Even though you wouldn't think it was, this is really just like a gift from the universe to have family. This is a gift that is deeper than money, deeper than deep. It's like deeper than the material, because Ten of Pentacles is somebody who's able to give like material wealth all the way down their line. But someone with a Ten of Cups may not have the best house, right? But they have a happy home, right? So this isn't like the best Mars placement. It's not Mars in Aries. It's not Mars in Scorpio, right? But it's one of the it's like Aquarius, but it's not Aquarius, it's Pisces. It's one of those signs where it's just like you it's actually one of the best signs to get. Because it gives you that gift of intuition. It gives you that gift of and you have to have a certain intuition with your family too. Like if you really do a lot of problem solving with your family and stuff like that, there's a certain wisdom that you have at the end of your life where you can't take, you know what I'm saying, the money with you, but to know that the relationships are good, to know that the family is around you, that's a wisdom on your deathbed that I feel like none of us will really fully understand until we're there. You know what I'm saying? Because some people don't get that on their deathbed. Everybody doesn't get the Ten of Cups. So just remember Pisces, wisdom, like family, something deeper than we know, and being able to kind of see like that bridge between the spiritual and the material world, right? At the end of it all. So, you kind of have to pull for it, right? But it's there. It's there. Two of Wands, Nine of Swords. All right, so Two of Wands is Mars and Aries. I talked about that earlier, right? Urge and enthusiasm, a start to the goals. I think of planning when I think of Two of Wands. I don't know what y'all think, but I think of like itineraries and planning and stuff like that. So maybe just that initial Aries, like start of the zodiac. I'm definitely an Aries, so I'm all about that. Now Mars and Gemini with the Nine of Swords. So Gemini is going to make you very versatile. These people who have Mars and Gemini, they're going to be very multitasking all the time. They got this. Doesn't mean that they're necessarily good at it. Maybe not. But they're going to be in this flow of wanting to do a bunch of stuff all the time. This is the anxiety card. This is when you cannot stop your thoughts, right? So that's the shadow side of it. You can't stop. Your thoughts just keep going at you. If you've ever had like a panic attack or an anxiety attack, right? You start to feel it in your body, and then it's hard to breathe. Your brain malfunctions to a point to where your body, I don't know the technical term, but your body will what's it called when I'm gonna say hiccup, but it's not hiccup. Your body's it's gonna crash, and then it's gonna automatically have to restart, right? So this is moments before a crash. Not a source. It's like you in the crash, honestly, but moments before your body hits that restart button after the panic attack, and you just go totally like black. You just totally black out. Okay. So that's Nine of Swords in Gemini. So be very careful with that Gemini energy and overdoing it. And when you have a Mars in Virgo, you have to be very careful of not, man, they take the perfection thing way too far in their actions, right? So they have to remember, okay, I have to do a good job, not a perfect job, right? And it could just be way too excessive, where everything has to be this with Mars and Virgo. So be very careful with that, okay? Three of Pentacles, and then we're done here. Let's see, Three of Pentacles. Mars in Capricorn. Okay, friction and power struggles. Let's see what we got here. I didn't even talk about Mars in Cancer. Oh, and then after I do Mars in Capricorn, I'm going to talk about how we can improve our karma with Mars. I forgot about that. Okay. So Mars in Capricorn is a mixed effect. Okay. Because Saturn and Mars, they don't necessarily like each other like that. They're enemies, but also, they could kind of be cool. It's like Mars, Saturn wants to slow you down, and Mars is trying to go, go, go and get things done, right? So, the good thing about this is never letting adversity get you down. If you have a Mars in Capricorn, and you are very, very resilient, okay, determined, steadfast, you conquer all challenges and obstacles, all right? So this is the really good thing about Mars in Capricorn. But when it's just that Saturn energy, because these are two malefic planets. So you got to look at what house your Mars in Capricorn or your Mars in Aquarius is in, because it's going to create a lot of obstacles in that house. So, or trauma, sometimes PTSD in that house. So say you have it in the fourth house, you could have trauma and PTSD with your parents, right? And over time, you will become very resilient. You might become one of those people where it's like you don't even need recognition. You don't expect anybody to nurture you. You know what I'm saying? Because you already had such a difficult placement in the fourth house with Mars and Capricorn. Maybe even same thing if it was in the seventh house, right? With relationships. So it's a superpower in the end, but it's just so tough to deal with in the beginning. All right. So let me go on ahead here and talk about how we can improve our karma with Mars, okay? You can improve your karma with Mars. Of course, Tuesday. Today is Tuesday in France. Tuesday, wear color pink, red, orange. Get a well-designed yantra. Understand the mantra, and you can do the mantra or pray in front of the Mars yantra. And of course, this is going to be auspicious, giving honor to Mars on a Tuesday. Okay. If you don't want to do that, if that's not your thing, then making sure your relationships are good with your brothers, your cousins. I did this. My cousin invited me on this trip to Vegas for my birthday. It was him and my other guy cousin, and then my guy friend. And it was just a good trip. Maybe that sounds a little like pick me ish or whatever. I don't know, but it's my cousins. You see what I'm saying? So if you have like a good relationship with your guy cousins, that could be really good for Mars, okay? Hear what they have to say, hear their advice when it comes from like a male point of view, and just a little respect and just a little open-mindedness to the opposite sex if you're a female, okay? Yeah, just improving your relationships with men is good for Mars. Enjoying adventure that is connected with your inner child. Mars is the inner child, actually. So if you liked baseball when you were a little kid, if you liked basketball when you were a little kid, going to a basketball game, playing basketball, anything like that is going to improve your karma with Mars. What else is going to improve your karma with Mars? Healthy competition, okay? Sports, yoga, running, maybe bingo or Jeopardy, okay? Following your curiosity. A lot of people, this is why I like going through the planetary karmas. A lot of people, not a lot of people, but you guys know that like some people are like, oh, don't follow your curiosity. No, follow it. Mars looks up on that, okay? Mars gives us energy for that. So if you're interested in photography and you follow that, it improves your relationship with Mars, okay? What else? Putting action and energy into things. Anytime you have the opportunity to do something and get something done, you take advantage of the opportunity. That's good for Mars energy, okay? being energetic, not complaining, right? But just being energetic about your work, putting that positive energy towards your work, okay? If you have too much pita in your body, okay, you have like way too much masculine energy, way too much, just like, y'all know, because I talked about pita earlier, but it's just like you kind of start freaking out, zoinking out with too much pita. He mentioned this herb here, anatamol. I know that sounds crazy. Anatamol. Okay. He said this was a great herb for any Mars aggravated issues in the body. So we're actually like not supposed to, what do you call it? We're not supposed to eat too much spicy food, and I talked about this with the Venus video, like excessive alcohol, things like that. It can promote liver damage, heart damage, So think of things to cool that. Try to pull that back, right? To balance out your Mars karma, especially like, just if you know you got issues with certain things in your body, and it is liver damage, heart damage, stuff like that. Go to your herbalist, check out some Ayurvedic remedies, check out a doctor, of course, right? And look into like the mindset of, because you can look up videos too, the mindset of getting Mars kind of like down in your body, like too much pita down in your body. So PITA, if you guys are interested in that, okay? So offering red roses is good for your Mars energy. Red sandalwood, red herbs, okay? If you offer red and pink clothing to your sibling, friend, or the homeless, that's good for your Mars energy. So these are some people you can honor. Skadna, which is Shiva's son, the Lord of War. You can honor Kartikeya, Morangan, Kumara, okay? I'm just giving you guys the knowledge. I don't have the wisdom yet. I'm just giving you guys, the notes, okay? And yeah, Anuman is a diva. I've talked about in other videos how divas are related to diva with the DEVA is related to demons, and how demons are seen in a whole different light. Okay. So yeah, just look into that. I'll do a video on divas another time. Okay. Okay, the ring finger. On the ring finger, you could put a red coral or a carnelian on your ring finger in a gold setting. If you want to decrease the malefic energy of the planet, put it on your left hand. If you want to increase it, put it on the right hand. The ancient technique is that the males put it on the right hand and the females put it on the left hand. Okay, good for lack of energy, action, courage, strength. All right. So, yeah, that's about it. The only thing I did not cover, I think I didn't cover Mars and Venus. And I didn't cover Mars and Cancer. So I'm kind of hopping all over the place with the Mars energy, but that's okay. Let's talk about Mars and Venus really quick. Venus she's the advisor of the Queen. The Queen is Cancer. Cancer rules the moon, okay? So the moon energy. She's the advisor of the Queen. Mars is the general for the sun, right? So there is this romantic relationship with Mars and Venus, for sure. But it doesn't work out in the end because they don't have anything in common. He's working for the sun and she is working for the moon. So it's sexy, it's hot, it's energetic, there's attraction when you have a Mars and Venus sign, but you can get burnt out easily and not carry it all the way through. So that's what you have to be careful with the Mars and Venus sign. If you have Mars and Libra, these are beautiful artists. You have a gift in art, okay? These are your musicians, your painters, your celebrities, right? It's just a beautiful placement for Libra, a beautiful placement for Venus. It gives action to all of that, right? To all that beauty and art and splendor. Definitely check out the Venus video I dropped. It goes more into that Venus energy and to the duality and the shadow side of Venus. The Taurus energy is more, it's going to give you more energy towards the finances, the wealth, the material realm, okay? So that's also beauty and music as well, but just not as much as the Libra. So Mars and Venus is just a very interesting combination overall because of that like love affair and that spark they have in the beginning. But yeah, we just have to be careful about carrying it all the way through with Mars and Venus. Now, Mars in Cancer. Okay, Mars doesn't work for the queen. Mars works for the sun. So the moon is friends with everyone, right? But that doesn't mean Mars is friends with the moon. So there's this like mixed energy with them, right? So let me go over here. Yeah, here we go. It's a difficult karma, especially if you have it like in the fourth house, right? You could have difficulty with your mother, family, your homeland, properties, romantic relationships, okay? And yeah, it can destroy the favorable quality of the house that it sits in. So if you have a Mars in Cancer, definitely look at what house your Mars in Cancer sits in, because it can take away the favorability of it. All right. But that doesn't mean that you can't align to a higher frequency, right? If you take the time out to align to a higher frequency as a Mars in Cancer, you can overcome that karma. You understand what I'm saying? So, um, most aligned to certain frequency, yeah, to get the pleasure in those areas. You must align. Let me say that again. You must align to a certain frequency to get pleasure in those areas. Okay? Less power of the negative expression. It's going to create resilience. I talked about that with Saturn. Okay, you just got to think what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And overcoming those challenges, having the PTSD and the traumatic experience that Saturn or Mars in Cancer could give you, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Victor over being a victim, right? It's so crazy. I had that download and then I saw that Fairy Prophet, she must have had that download too because she did a video about it. It's crazy how Tarot Land is. So shout out to her. And she did a really cool video on being a victor over being a victim. So yeah, that download is definitely going like through the collective right now. So yes, that's all for now, guys. All right. The angel number I got while doing my research was 1010, which equals 2, which when I think of 2, I honestly think of like a lunar number, right? Duality. So definitely check out Venus for the duality. I will be doing the sun sign on Sunday, and then we got to get into Uranus and Neptune, and that's it for the series. And then I'll be breaking things down into like a shorter video for you guys, all right? So I hope that gave you the life force rejuvenation and paradigm shift that you needed for your journey. I'm honored to be on this journey with you guys. It's my first live, hey! And I'll see you guys next time, okay? Now I got to figure out how to close this down. All right, peace.